Hello, and welcome to the class for Thursday, July 23rd. Let me just turn the video off for a second. I have to get my audio ready to the level that I'm used to it at, and then we can get started. Okay, I think that's good. Yeah, it seems good. So let me now let the participants in. Hello.
Hi.
Hi there.
How you guys doing today?
Good. Good. Playing with all the buttons on all the programs.
Huh. Well, that's a good way to learn things, right?
Wow. Yeah, it is. They did some studies, I think, when computers first came out, and they had a teacher, an engineer, and a little kid, and they stuck them in front of a computer and said, like, go for it. Do you know that study?
No.
And so the little kid just started smashing all the buttons. The engineer read the book, or the teacher read the book. The engineer, I don't know, did what. And so the little kid got farther because he was just like pushing all the buttons.
What are you today, Kim?
I have a little dog hoodie and it's cold and rainy outside. And so it was the perfect time to wear this. It's the perfect time to wear this and then be told I'm wanted for fraud.
You're wanted for fraud?
It's a scam call from North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I'm listening to the voicemail. It's just like, that's fake. That's fake.
Yeah, have you gotten those ones that claim they're from the IRS? Is that what?
No, I haven't gotten that one yet. No, apparently there's a fraudulent claim on my Social Security card. Please call this number, and it's 8288888. I don't even remember the rest. I just remember all the eights. Like, I heard that. It's just like, this is fake. This is fake. If it's not fake, they could come get me. But it's fake.
Yeah, I think maybe people with guilty consciences might call in, when those fake numbers come in.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I know someone who answers the phone every time it rings, and it's just like, dude, 90% of those are scams or wrong numbers. But wrong numbers are fun to answer.
Man, I learned how to paint transparency into a background, but I can't remember how I did it now. God. Oh, boy.
I mean, that's cool.
It was cool.
It's raining.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, when we left this morning, it rained so bad we couldn't see the parking lot, and we were right at the door.
Amazing.
Right? Not so amazing for work. Apparently, the roof caved in.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Hey, listen, if I don't have to go to work,
And we can
Wow.
give you homework.
right? I could actually do that. On time, too. Oh, this is metal.
Okay.
Nah, but they're probably not going to close everything. If they do, though.
You don't think they would?
No. Knowing my work, there could be a murder and they just close off that section of the store.
Hey, Kim, do you know what today is?
Nana's birthday.
Probably.
It is.
What else?
I don't know anything else about
National
today.
Sticker Day, what?
Wait, what it is?
I don't know. I made that up.
What's today?
Could it be Kim Presentation Day?
No, that's the 27th.
Mine was the 27th.
No, it's the 23rd.
I did not read that wrong. It's the 27th.
Okay, go look on the website. Here, wait.
Please tell me I read that wrong, didn't I? I'm hoping I didn't.
I'll share my screen. Look, see right here where it says Kim 723.
Dang it, I read the wrong one. So, about that.
Uh-oh.
Greg, I've got one.
I don't have it. I read it wrong.
All right, I think we have to decide as a class what Kim's punishment should be.
Watch that show. What was it? Game of Thrones?
Yeah, you have to.
Sure,
you have
why
to watch
not?
the season.
What we should do is take a
Something about pickles? What?
Pickles aren't a punishment. We buy these big jars and me and Papa will eat them all in less than a week.
Oh. Right, no pickles. No pickles. That's how.
You can't do that because then Papa gets the whole jar to himself for the week.
He did. He's in on it. Yeah. Oh man.
Kim, what's your least favorite form of music?
I don't rap. It's rap. I hate rap. I can't stand it.
Okay, well today you have to play rap in your headphones while you're in class.
She has to listen to
Or-
Tekashi 69, the whole swapple.
You have to
All of them are the worst.
you have to listen to Vanilla Ice, the greatest hits.
Oh yeah.
Baby. Ding, 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 ding.
Do you guys know what space monkeying is?
Space Monkey?
To inform. I want to
It's
know.
like, so you crouch down almost in like a fetal position and you hyperventilate for like maybe a minute, and then you stand up and then you hold your breath really hard for like 30 seconds and then you pass out.
Yay!
That's you. I was gonna say this really sounds like the perfect recipe for, passing out.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
plan. That's how I'm getting out of work tomorrow. Thank you.
I mean, in yoga we do fire breath, and you almost pass out. But
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. I
You know
did like
that-
a yoga class once, and you just like do that crazy hyperventilating thing.
yeah, you ended up with the weirdest one, right? They don't do it all pretty I'm just
Yeah.
gonna say, but it's
Yeah, I
it's,
somehow I joined like the Kundalini yoga class, and then it was pretty rad actually. I liked it.
yeah, they are pretty rad. But that's pretty funny that you got fire breath on the like day one. Oh man,
Yeah.
I've
They're
been
like
doing it for years.
advanced.
I've been doing
Huh.
yoga for years, maybe a decade, and regularly. And fire breath has only come up a handful of times, under 10. So I think it's funny that you went on fire breathing day.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
Okay, so Kim, so maybe you can do your presentation next week?
For sure.
Okay. So Diego wrote me, and he's having internet connection problems because of the storm, so he's not going to be able to join us. So I'm in the folders here, and I'm looking at Cynthia's folder. Cynthia, anything in there from you?
No.
Okay. Eric, anything new?
Sorry, my connection is really bad.
Oh, go.
Okay.
go.
Do you have anything new?
The Bahama Head.
The Bahamas thing? That? Yeah. That looks good. Okay, is that it? I'm not seeing any little movement on your microphone, so I think it must be that you have a bad connection, like you said. So
Hey.
I'll jump out of here. Let's see, Carolina, do you have anything new?
Well,
Yeah, I have the Bahama and a project to redo.
So here's Bahamas. Okay, that looks nice. And then what was the other thing?
For the ad project, I redid the van and the billboard. So I think it's no, not that one. It's the other one.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Ow. My headphones got stuck.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you took the other tents out and used a picture that was a little less busy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think it does work. What do
beautiful.
you guys think?
It's very campy colors, like it's more organic, like you can see the grasses and stuff. So it's pretty cool. And the one tent is better than the whole series because you see each individual thing. Like you said, with speed, you only can focus on a few things, but it comes across as being something outdoorsy, not so much Mars,
Yeah, I think this van could communicate your message a little quicker because we see it, like we see trailbound surplus and we see the tent, and then we're driving on, and then we get the message. You know what I mean?
I think it's beautiful, really. That's very pretty.
Yeah, it looks nice. And then did you redo the billboard?
Yes, it's the billboard 2.
Oh, nice.
I think that's also an improvement. Once again, for the same reason that it's quick. It's like bing, bang, boom. It's like quick. We're driving by and we see the logo, and then we see the tagline, and then, if we want contact information, that's at the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah, I just didn't know what font to use for the middle one.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, I mean, the font that you used is easy to read,
I like it.
which is always a plus, especially when you're driving by at 60 miles an hour. So, no, I think it's an improvement. I do.
Okay, thank you.
Robin, should we look at yours? Did you do any changes?
No, I just worked on this new project because I was excited about it. Also, Greg, I wanted to say that since Kim doesn't have a presentation, I do have one prepared, but that's up to you if you want me to go this week or next week.
That's fine with me. What do you guys think? You want to see a presentation?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, sure. I'll go ahead and make it so we can share the screen, or you can share the screen. Unless, do you want me to show it?
Yeah, I put it in a file. It's a separate file called presentation.
All right.
It's through Keynote, so hopefully it downloaded.
Keynote.
Or I could try emailing it to you.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't think I have Keynote on my computer. You don't have it on yours?
I do have it on mine. It's just the last time I tried to screen share, I set some settings on my computer where I'd have to go in and change them.
Oh, I see. Yeah, Keynote's something you have to pay for, right? It's like
I don't know. It came with my computer.
It did?
Yeah.
Maybe I can go to the App Store and download it. I don't know. Let's see.
Or we could do it later and I could try to change the settings as we're going through other people's art.
Okay. Let me see if I can download this Keynote.
Can you export it as a PowerPoint?
Looks like it is free.
Install app. We could not Keynote
Making
not
this
be
work.
installed because Mac 10.14 or later is required. Okay. Well, I guess my interface isn't happy enough for this. Okay, so we're gonna wait.
Yeah, let me see if I can change the settings so I can screen share.
Okay, yeah, let me know if you get that to work.
Okay.
All right, so then let's see. Kim, do you have any new work?
Yeah.
You there, Kim? Let's see. Yeah, she should be here.
I've returned. Hi.
Hi. Hey, do you have any new work?
Yes.
Okay.
I have 2 things. I don't know if we saw the world tour last time, but I have that. I clicked wrong. Something else is going to open up. And then I also have the Bahamas.
Okay, there's the world tour. That looks nice. And Bahamas.
Okay, so it does it for yours too. Don't ask me what happened to the colors. I have absolutely no clue.
Okay.
They're all crazy bright.
Yeah, kind of hot.
Because it's not like that on mine or when you like open it up.
Okay.
So I don't know what happened there. We've been having that problem where the files will be in blue, but when we put them into Google Docs, they turn pink.
Oh, weird. It's like an infection. Maybe it's coronavirus.
Oh man, now it's infecting the internet too.
Let's see, Luca Beta, do you have anything new? Okay, so
I'm here. I finished the sticker thing.
okay, cool. This is it.
Yes.
I like it.
Thanks. I base it off this one thing that I did a while back in another class I took at Pima.
It's nice. It's cool. It's just very casual and open to interpretation.
Isn't that good?
It is good. It just seems like a serene setting at night out in nature.
I like it.
Yeah, it's like it's
Oh, it
not
does.
like saying anything. There's no message or anything. It's just like a nature scene. It's kind of cool.
Pretty-
Yeah, it's kind of cool because when you think about it, almost every sticker is in your face with something. It's like, rah, trying to communicate something. This one's just kind of like, hey, just chill out. I'm just a sticker, man. It's cool. I like it. I like the sort of monotone, all the shades of blue that you're using.
Yeah, it's very peaceful. It's kind of cool how the moon is more sharp and the other part is softer.
Yeah.
The edge of the moon. I like that.
Looks nice. Good job, Luke.
Thank you.
Those
Okay.
guys, I love those guys.
So, Brianna, have you got anything?
Yes, I did the Bahamas project.
Well, that looks good.
Yay.
Okay, and that's the only new thing?
No, I added some more to the ad campaign. I did sketches for the ad magazine and then sketches for the web.
Is this one of them?
Mm-hmm. And
Okay.
we're still trying to figure out the name. So I have one that says Deviant and then one that says Reports of a Killer.
That's really cool.
So Deviant is it's a game?
Yeah, I think we chose to do it as a light novel.
Oh, cool. Nice. And then this is another sketch.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I like the art style, so I'm going to try to change it, but this should be what it looks like.
It looks pretty good.
It's really amazing how you guys can draw so well.
Are those like tears in reality or something? These
Yeah,
okay.
because I thought of like glass and stuff like that. So like some of the pieces of the glass would show like some of the killings that happen, since it's supposed to be like a detective type of game. And then for all like reports and like papers, I put papers all over the screen. And then the glass pieces should be moving up and down once I color it all.
That looks so cool.
I like the fact that the bad guy has a little puppet, like it's his what do they call those dogs? It's like a comfort puppet.
Oh, I don't remember the name of them.
Therapy?
But well, aren't
Service?
they like comfort dogs, the little dogs that people have sometimes?
First dogs?
What does?
Support, emotional support
That's
system?
what does. He's got a little support puppet.
An evil
Wait,
support.
so
puppet.
is it going to be like a GIF? Like you said, the glass pieces are going to move up and down.
Yeah, we wanted to do like an animation type thing, but we only I didn't know what to do for it yet. So for the ad magazine, I might just move like some things up and down. Or if I don't do that, then on the web, I was just gonna move like the little video trailer thing. I was just gonna move like something on it.
Cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's fun. It's really cool to be thinking interactively. You know, it's cool that you can do that with art these days. You know, you could be making a drawing and go, oh, I could add animation to it. That's awesome. It looks really good. And any more things in here we should look at?
Just what I have for the web. I think it's too simple in my opinion, but then again, I'm not done with it.
This kind of thing?
Yeah, so I looked up on League of Legends and I like how their like beginning page looks like. So
Uh-huh.
I kind of did something like that where up front has like the story, the characters, and then I thought of you'll be able to actually like see your progress through the game on the website or something like that. So I had like a sign in and login type thing.
Nice. And
I see.
are you going to have any kind of like logo for your web company up here or anything?
Maybe I would have to talk to her about it.
Okay.
Since I'm still not unsure of some stuff, but for right now, I just have like a little, like her in the middle, like since she's the main character and everything. And if I did animation on it, I would just have it where it switches to a different picture, to probably like the villain of the story or something like that.
Oh, okay. Cool. I think it looks good.
Thank you.
All right. And then Rena, do you have anything new?
I don't have anything new, but I have been working on the ad campaign since like 3 a.m. last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've been trying to work on just like a little bit of a gameplay of it and just have like I don't know, a little bit extra this and extra that and all that stuff. So
Okay, cool.
I should be having something done like within today or so.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, so Milo, anything new in your Milo world? Okay, let's see. Let's go down here to Adrian. Anything new?
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm here.
Oh wait, Milo, hi.
Yeah, hey, sorry, the mic was acting up. I updated the web page and like brought out the icon a little more on the van.
Okay. The website, this ping right here. Is this the update?
Yeah, so I made it landscape and then adjusted a few things. Just made it look
Oh yeah, you made it.
Which one?
You made it landscape, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And you totally tripped out the top Odyssey word, didn't you? Was that new, adding the 3 layers of the...
I had it kind of like that yesterday, but I adjusted a little.
It looks cool.
It
But
does.
it had 3 layers.
Yeah, it's or 4 or something. I don't even know.
Yeah, I think I sampled 4.
You know what you might consider doing is take this word Odyssey and make it smaller, like about half the size, and then take these links and spread them out horizontally, kind of like you would see in a website.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Might use more space.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really love the effect on the Odyssey title, though. That is very pretty.
Yeah, it's
that
very...
moon. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, that moon like asteroid thing is super rad. I love how saturated and like glowing it looks.
Thanks. Yeah, it sounds like a drawing and put on some color and filters. Like the Gaussian blur is cool because it adds like an extra.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen any animations by Dr. Foothead?
I don't think so. No. Does he have that stuff?
There's a bunch of cool, like, he does a bunch of random music videos that are all just like kind of this interesting, almost like Adventure Time kind of style animations, but they're all music videos and they're all just like trippy and like super colorful. That's kind of what it reminds me of.
Cool. I'll check it out. What's his name?
Dr. Foothead.
All right, cool.
Somebody who knows how to get attention, doesn't it?
Right.
Yeah, I think it looks really good. You've come a long way with this design.
Cool, thanks. Yeah, I'll try that link.
Okay. Anything else we should look at?
I didn't really do much on the van. I just added the outer glow, so it shows a little.
On which one was that? The van?
Oh
yeah, the outer glow. Yeah. Well, that helps.
Yeah, my copy.
Yeah, it makes it stand out from the background a little more.
All right.
Cool.
Should I make it bigger, you think? Like take up more of the van?
I'm sorry?
Should I make it bigger? Like take up more of the van? The logo?
You mean the glow?
No, like the toilet itself.
The toilet? You know, I have to say, I hate to say this, but I think that the toilet would read more as a toilet if it had the door.
Okay.
I know you like, you know, having the universe in there and everything, but I still think it might be hard for people to figure out exactly what that is in the 3 seconds that they're going to be driving by you.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Yeah, I'll see if I can still make it.
Yeah, try it out. See if you can put the door on there, and see what happens if it improves it at all.
Could you put the door on and put a light opacity of the universe over the door, or the door? You know what I mean? A lighter opacity of the door, and still see that, because it's kind of cool effect, but it does make it a little harder to tell what it is.
Right.
But maybe you could incorporate it as a layer or something.
Yeah. Okay, well, looks good. Let's see. So, what we're talking about, Milo, Yi, do you have anything?
I don't have the other part done yet, but I have the infographic part done.
Oh, you finished your infographic?
Yeah, but this is just for laugh. Don't take it seriously.
Oh my God, that's hysterical.
You guys like it.
That is really funny.
Awkward silences.
Oh my God, that is really funny.
What does that dear Greg say?
It says, I know I'm not the hardest working, talented, has a working camera, not participating enough, but this has to be my most sincere and honest work. Please do consider giving me a passing grade.
That's funny.
Very nice.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, let's see. So, Adrian, anything new from you?
I think I have my van ready.
Your van?
Yeah. It's such a big fire. I had it in mix.
Oh, that looked like the old van.
Like one image.
Is this the new van?
Yes, this is the new.
Wow. That came out great.
Yeah, it's really fun. I like seeing your original art on there, Adrian.
Also that I also like how compare this one to the older one. I like where the characters are because there are places where they will not be distorted. Because with the other one, I think the when you open the gas, I think that was a one whole mouth or something like that. I'm like, that would have been weird.
I think you did a nice job on coloring the girl. Looks really good.
Thanks.
Very nice.
And,
I want to see the head of the guy a little bit more. I don't know why, the hair.
Oh,
I
you
think
think
for show and tell, I can like show all the characters I have so you guys can see them better.
did you also finish anything else or just the van?
I just a van. Like I'm working on another character just so I can have a couple of assets to work on my website.
Okay. Well, it looks really good. You're doing a nice job.
Thanks.
Okay, and then who's your partner, Adrian?
Eric.
Okay, I think we looked at Eric's stuff already. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and let's see. So that was Adrian. So Claudia, anything new?
I have the billboard.
Billboard. This one?
Wow.
That looks really good.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah, that looks great.
Thank you. That's
Well,
awesome.
you know-
I didn't know if it was like too much information for a billboard, but I don't
No,
know.
because you can get the main part, and then if you're stuck in traffic, you can read the rest.
Right.
I like all the buildings. Those all look really good.
Oh, thank you.
I noticed you took the cactuses and the falling cars and all that out of the laser beam coming out of the spaceship.
Yeah, I did. It kind of looked cluttered, so
Huh.
yeah.
You know,
just-
for a billboard, it's probably a really good idea, and maybe it could be on the other stuff, or a little bit like Greg was saying, take some of them out, maybe make it. But I like all of it.
right. Yeah, I did that for the main poster.
Did the buildings come colored like that? I can't figure this out. Did you draw the buildings? Because I love the colors.
Yeah, I colored them. It's just a bunch of rectangles, basically.
A bunch of what?
Rectangles, just like little rectangles.
Oh, they're awesome.
Thank you.
It totally reminds me of the neon sign district of Tucson, the colors. And
Where's that?
there's several of them in town. You can Google it, the neon signs. They're the old retro neon signs. And we have a neon sign business still in operation, like at Country Club and Broadway Southwest Corner.
Right.
But there's old classic, I don't know what decade, 50s maybe, neon signs all around town. There's several little districts that they're trying to preserve.
Oh, cool. I think I have seen a couple.
There's some by the Pima downtown, but there's several other areas.
Yeah, they look really cool. Kind of like 70s.
Something, maybe even earlier, to be honest.
There is a really cool museum in town called the Ignite Neon Sign Museum.
I haven't been to that yet.
Oh wow, that sounds.
Can you pull up that business? I think it's Cook Neon Signs on Broadway, and let me see. Too bad I threw away that book. Oh well, let's see. Neon Sign Country Club, Tucson.
Well, here's that Cook website.
Oh, yeah, I really like going there. You can just, see stuff out in their back. They have like a back chain link area with old neon signs kind of just clumped there. It's a great photography thing. I used to live very close though, so.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love neon signs, and if you do get a chance to check out the Ignite Museum, you should go. It's really cool.
Heck yeah, what's the address? I'm looking to see.
Okay, I'll bring it back up. Let's see. Mhm. Contact maybe. Oh wait, there's a visit here.
Are they open or?
Okay, here it is. Do you know where Campbell becomes Keno?
Totally do. I used to live right there.
And there's like a Safeway right on the corner of Campbell and Broadway.
Totally live right there and work down there. Yeah.
It's between if you were driving on Campbell going south towards where it's going to loop into Keno, it's in the neighborhood right behind the Safeway. There's like all these warehouses there, and it's just in this little.
I used to bicycle all through there. There's the coolest stuff down there. There's that old barrio place with all the import furniture. And there's that Italian restaurant, the import store. I'm trying to think of what it's called. Do you know it?
I do not.
Let me pull it up. It's Roma Imports. It's
Oh yeah,
down
no,
there.
it's on the opposite side of the street from that.
Yeah, that is just a fun district.
Yeah, Roma's really great. The food in there is just excellent. Here's some of the signs they have at the Neon Sign Museum. And they also have a bunch of like little signs, like graphic designy signs that were done over the last, like 50
I
years
wish
or whatever.
some random guy gave me his sister's a famous neon sign artist in California, and he gave me an autographed book of hers, but I don't think I have it anymore. She was super trippy.
Okay, so let me go back to our web.
Thanks for showing us that.
Yeah, sure, it's cool. All right, let's see, where are we here? So this looks great. I personally think you did a great job of simplifying this so that it's easy to see and get the information from very quickly. And then did you redesign anything else?
I did a mock-up for the billboard. Yeah, that one. Just to kind of see how it.
Oh, that looks cool.
Not the best mock-up place.
That looks great.
That's really cool.
Okay.
And the magazine ad.
Which one? This one?
That one. Yeah, that one. And then I did a mock-up for it.
Okay.
Kind of like an announcement ad for the festival.
10 years in the desert.
Nice. It's a really great campaign.
Thank you. And then that's just
I like the Facebook, Twitter buttons at the bottom there. That's clever. Oh, that's a cool mock-up.
Yeah, very
How
nice.
did you make the page? Did you kind of create that bendy page or get a template?
I did not. It's actually not like well placed. If you like zoom in
I
close.
can see it.
Yeah, I just kind of slapped it on. I might play around with it a little bit
Yeah,
more.
yeah. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of just a rectangle.
I am super going to do something like that. That is cool to put it on like that.
I hate to keep making this suggestion, but remember when I said that Robin's art would look really cool on like fabric? I think this design would look really cool on fabric too, especially like the one where you have the cacti being pulled up and everything in the cars. It just seems like it would be a really cool pattern. Do you know what I mean?
Cool. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like it would make nice sheets,
for a
nice
garment.
pillowcases, nice curtains.
Cool.
Yeah. Anyway, very cool. Looks good. Okay, so Mia, anything new from you?
There is a draft of the infographic. You guys put your sunglasses on. I warned you first. So it's just drafted. I'm trying to, it's just I'm working on it. But that's actually my friend Bobby down on the bottom. She's notorious for giving the peace sign.
And
So-
what are these triangles going to be?
Well, they were supposed to be the swatches from the graph. I haven't really, narrowed it down, but that's the 20%, the 20%, the 60 and the 60%.
Okay.
And so like 60% of the peace signs are on buses, 60 are people giving you the peace sign, 20% is on coffee mugs. I have a t-shirt, but I haven't been able to put it in there the way I want to yet. So, and I need some words a little bit, but that was the idea. I was going to shrink some of those a little, maybe, I don't know.
I think it looks really fun. I wonder if you could put some kind of a stroke or something on the peace symbol to differentiate it, make it stand out a little bit from the background.
Yeah, totally. Like I said, I'm still drafting it. There's actually like 4 layers of things there. It is the most, if you saw the layers to that, it's like this 47,000 things that I just say group them all, but there's so much stuff in there that doesn't even need to be there. It's hilarious. So yeah, I could definitely do that. That's a great idea. And I want to put, some highlights or drop shadows or things to make things stand out, inner glows and all that. But that was the general. I drew the background. I just wanted you people to know that I drew something.
Hey.
Right?
Oh yeah.
I created it alone.
Nice. It looks good.
Okay, thanks.
Let's see. So, so Robin, any luck on the presentation?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. The only thing I have to leave the meeting and then come back.
And then you can do it.
Oh,
yeah, I should be able to. I do
By
have
the-
something.
By the
new.
way, I got my colors from that Peter Max thing. I had that up on my screens because that was really fun stuff.
Cool. What were we saying, Robin?
I've got some stuff I've been working on for the infographic in there, and I made a separate folder for that. So if you want to go to the next picture. So this is something I'm really excited about. So I don't know, it might, maybe I'm like way over my head, but I wanted to do like what goes behind major depression, like the neurotransmitters at play. And I kind of wanted to make it in the form of a garden. Like the main ones each have their own little like garden section, and they're all like interacting with each other, and each garden.
You can't say retardation anymore. It's not politically correct.
I didn't.
Yeah, you got psychomotor retardation.
No, that's like an actual scientific term.
I'm teasing. I'm totally teasing.
Yeah, so my goal is to bring like the science world of it like to the public in a way that's easily understandable and interactive. But again, maybe I'm going over my head. And the picture on the left was, I kind of wanted to make it more of like a, I don't know, maybe more of like a fairy garden, but I don't know if that would be distasteful, if like it would be too much of my own style getting in the way. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think it's a great idea. I love it. I'm really excited to see how it's gonna come out.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like I don't have the skill set for this kind of project yet, but we'll see.
I think you do. I mean, it's such a clever idea. I think you really have to go through and do it and see how it comes out.
Which project is this for?
The infographic.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I wanted to make those little tree figures. I wanted to make them neurons. So I'm really excited about it, guys.
My question
Totally
is like,
go for it.
I still think that eventually they'll change that terminology like they do everything else, because they frown upon certain, and I understand it's a term of medicine because I am a medical stenographer predominantly over the years, but
Yeah,
It jumps out at me.
Psychomotor retardation is just this idea of.
I know what it is
Yeah.
entirely, but the terminology seems very outdated compared to where they've gone with descriptors lately. So
Yeah, I'm not really in charge of that.
Well, I think. Go ahead, Adrian.
I was gonna ask. So your goal is like to explain, like. I was gonna ask, what was like the goal that you wanted to explain?
I wanted to take the three main neurotransmitters, serotonin,
Dopamine and.
Yeah, and I wanted to make a diagram on how they all interact with each other and how they each play a part.
Maybe you can, like, you can do a bit more research to see, like, so it can be like more than one thing that they like do.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like,
I mean, each section is going to be, each part of the garden is going to be dedicated to explaining like their role in the brain and in our bodies.
how good do you think your allegory skills are?
I don't know.
Because I think that's gonna be the major factor when it comes to doing something like this.
Yeah, I do think I'm trying to put in more of my painting style into this, and I feel like that might, I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing.
I think it'll be good.
I mean, your art is good.
Yeah, I can totally see your style of artwork in this infographic.
What you could do, like for example, if you want to add, like you can draw them on paper, copy them, remove the background, and there you go. You already have an asset for your infographic.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
You can search on YouTube on how to remove backgrounds, and I think one way is just I think it's in the image settings. You're gonna want to go to adjustments and then go to, I think it was chords or levels, and right there you can make like, for example, if you got sketchy lines and stuff like that, you can make it so that they can kind of disappear and it'll be easier to select.
Yeah, maybe I could try to finesse something in Photoshop.
Somehow I got my background. I used magic wand and delete, and I made that the background was transparent behind whatever I had, which helped.
Yeah, I think it's a really intriguing idea, and I can't wait to see your art style applied to this. So maybe next time we can see some examples of some of the elements and how you would illustrate them.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Okay.
Honestly,
How long
that?
do you think a project like this will take for you?
I don't know. I'm used to doing, when I really love a project, I'll usually spend a month on it. So I'm kind of nervous.
That's what I was thinking. Like, we don't really have a month.
I know.
You can do it. You can do it.
I don't know. I might, like, since I actually really care about this, I might put it off and do something else just for this project, but still work on this.
Okay. Well, I think it's a great idea. I'm excited to see it. Do you have anything else, or do you want to jump out now and come back in with your presentation?
Yeah, I'll leave and then I'll come back in a minute.
Okay.
Can I ask a quick question while we're on intermittent?
Yeah.
You know that double page spread thing?
The what?
The double page spread, I guess it was called.
Yeah.
And it said make it 11 by 17, I think.
Uh-huh.
Is that each page is 11 by 17, or the whole thing is?
No, it's two 8.5 by 11 pages that, when put next to each other, equals 11 by 17.
Got it. Thank you.
Alma, do you have anything? Alma, let me see.
Yes, I have the Bahamas thing and what else? 2 things I put there lately.
Okay, Bahamas. And that looks nice. And then the other is what, the world tour?
No, that we saw that one last time. The sticker, yeah.
Oh, that's so cute.
Was this a photo that you adjusted?
Yes, it's a photo.
Did you take it?
Yes,
Oh, it's cool. I like it.
thank you.
It'd be a nice sticker.
There was a decoration I did for my daughter's first birthday, so I kept the vase and the thing.
Aww,
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
what a good
Is
mom.
the inside of the glass painted or something?
The jar, it's painted, yes.
Oh, okay. I was wondering why it was pink. Cool.
It's going to be my new hobby.
Very
I'm
nice.
gonna paint on the inside with some transparent sort of.
How old is your daughter now?
She's 1.5. She's
Wow.
gonna be 2 in November.
Okay, cool. Beautiful.
And then she'll be 22 in a blink of an eye.
And I also modified the van, the colors of the van, and then I put the web page there.
Oh yeah. Those
Perfect.
colors feel more like the poster already, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, looks good.
And then the other one is the webpage?
Yes.
Freaking awesome. That came out great.
I just put another one. Oh, never mind. I just copied it, but I made another one instead of photos. It says tickets.
Oh, cool. But I really like the way you did the buttons in the colors like that.
What's the difference between these two?
No,
should have been tickets,
it didn't upload. It uploaded the same. So let me go find it
Oh,
again.
okay. Yeah,
But
well,
the buttons are super, super awesome. I mean, they're so right there, so you don't even have to think about it.
I really like how the cactuses just kind of disappear up into
Isn't
the
that
sky.
cool?
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How he faded out the spaceships, you know, did that fade trick, but it worked really good. Is that font one of the DeFont fonts, the really cool desert thingy?
The desert sun?
Yeah.
No, it's I downloaded. Claudia had it, and she sent the link to me to download it.
Okay.
So I
like
upload the new one, the new doc
Oh.
now, the one that says tickets instead of photos.
I keep practicing. I can say Claudia properly. I love the way you say it. It's so pretty. No, the one with the tickets on the billboard, I think.
Yeah. So
Different one.
it's pretty much the same. So I just think instead of saying photos, it says tickets.
Oh, okay, got it. Got it. Okay.
Wow, right on.
Yeah, it looks good.
Bubble.
Don't forget the little T over here in contact.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it looks good. You know, one thing that I would say that connect. This is looking better all the time. One thing that could connect this even better to the rest of the campaign is if it had like those little houses at the bottom or something.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, that would really do it.
Yeah. But it's great. You guys are doing a really nice job.
Thank you.
Looks so good.
I want you to put the buildings. I want you to put the buildings up on the free art site so we can use them.
You have to
Those
buy
are
them, you have to buy them from her.
those are Claudia. So
Luke, anything from you?
Yeah, I have an updated logo for the ad campaign. It's gonna be under Illustrator.
Oh,
Sorry.
that's okay.
Try to be organized, but it's more of a maze now. And then I have a magazine ad.
So what should I look at first? The different logos?
Probably the logo one, not the Empires. That one's the older one. So the one on the left is the old one, and then the one on the right is the one of the updated version.
So was going to say something about making roots in the guy's brain, and then I was like, but you did it, and it came out great.
Cool, thanks. Cool.
And you did the eyes different. How interesting. So he's much more peaceful with the eyes closed. How interesting is that?
Yeah, I think the eyes, when they're open, it's just kind of like, you know,
in your
kind of-
face.
yeah.
A little bit weird.
It's so calming there. That's so interesting. I never really noticed that before in graphics, but you know, with the eyes closed like that and a little bit of a smile, he just looks so peaceful.
Yeah, I noticed that's kind of like a trend with like mental health advertisements or something. I saw one lady who was just like, you know, her hands like that or whatever.
I am so gonna go like just pull up all their ads, and I bet you're right. I bet like 99 out of 100 have their eyes like closed and they're relaxing, like they're in a spa somewhere. Fascinating.
The new one is a big improvement. I mean, for all the things you guys are saying, but you know, you took some of the green and you brought it down into the face. You made the tree more cartoony, so the the leaves more cartoony, and then of course you close the eyes and made them look like they're smiling and changed the font. It's all a huge improvement, I think.
Yeah, I like the font. I
Cool.
also like the change of the
Thank you.
nose shape. The nose shape on the original, I kind of liked, but the bottom part wasn't my favorite. The whole swirling line that comes down I liked, but I like the new shape better.
Okay, cool.
Well, one other thing, because of the thickness of this blue line around the logo, it might benefit you to have a font that has a thicker stroke to it.
Okay. I'll try that.
Okay.
I see that, yeah.
Could you variegate where the trunk comes into the head and the roots come down? Could you variegate the color a little bit? It's not necessary,
what?
but it might break up that big blue block on top of his head. You know where the tree trunk comes into the head and there's almost like a triangle of blue at that point?
Yeah.
And I didn't know if variegating the color just a tiny bit. You know how you had the original tree with all that differentiation? I don't know if it would break up that block of blue. It's not necessary. Just notice that block of blue is
I was
kind of.
just trying to keep like a simpler palette, you know, so it's not like too complicated, you know.
Right. Yeah.
But I can see how maybe that's kind of weird looking. But
Somehow it isn't. It ties it together. But there's something. Yeah. Whatever. I just noticed the triangle of blue a little bit.
And then should we look at any more of the logos, or should we go down to this other thing?
you might as well just go down to the advertisement, the magazine one.
Okay. And there's three
Take
versions.
back what I said. It looks perfect now.
There's 3 versions of it?
There's, well, yeah, basically.
Okay, so here's the first version. Second, third.
Oh, that is really coming along so great. I like the Come Grow With Us better because it's more on point, but I like the need some color in your life, but that doesn't make as much sense to me on the theme.
Oh, okay. You like to come grow with us one more?
I mean, I see where you're going with it. Need some, something new in your life, kind of, or creativity in your life, or something. I see that, but then you've got the plant. So the grow with us seems to really,
Match
go
better
in
with
instantly.
the theme.
Yeah.
I think this layout with maybe a thicker font, it would probably be my favorite just because of how minimalist it is. This one is the text is a little too crowded in here, and there's a bunch more stuff going on.
I wonder if you could just say somewhere in there, put some color in your life, or get some color in your life, or add some color.
I just kind of threw something out there.
Well, it's important. It could be a secondary thing.
Yeah, but it's really wonderful. I like what you're doing. Your colors and your design, the emotion and the information you're communicating is really wonderful.
Cool, thank you. Do you think I need to add any sort of contact information on the bottom?
At least a URL.
Okay, all right.
Oh, what a great idea. I think the color, because the color is kind of like a metaphor for complexity, and the creativity. I still like that somehow. I wish they both could be in there somehow.
Yeah, it's really great.
Yeah.
Nice job,
Thank
Luke.
you. Thanks very much.
Really pretty.
So I think we got everybody, unless there's somebody I missed or somebody that had something that they uploaded. Anybody in that category? Okay, so now I think, Robin, are you ready to go?
Yeah, it should be.
Okay, so let me stop my share. Oh, wait, you're going to share, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm gonna try. We'll see if this works.
All right, I just made it so you can share.
Awesome. Hooray, is it sharing? Can you
Yep.
guys see? Awesome.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, so I was gonna, oh, by the way, sometimes when I talk, I run out of air and then it sounds like I'm gonna cry, but I'm not gonna cry. It's just me talking really fast.
Okay.
So I was gonna do a presentation on like artists that I admire, but I thought it would be more beneficial to you guys to kind of share like what I've learned from the U of A and like creating an artist statement and portfolio. Yeah, so I'm not saying that I've mastered this or anything. It's just useful information that's been passed down to me that I'd like to share with you guys if you ever plan on making a portfolio for yourselves or anything like that. Cool. So an artist statement is a concise arrangement of like 2 to 3 sentences that acts as a bridge to connect your audience, your art. You don't have to put into words what you've already expressed visually, and the point is to compel your audience to look closer. Yeah. So I put some simple steps for you guys, and it's more complicated than just a few steps, but you'll see what I mean. So the step 1 is finding something that you're passionate about. And I know for me, before I learned how to write an artist statement, it was really difficult on choosing what I wanted to make art about. I felt like every new drawing or idea had to be like completely original. And I never thought of the idea of combining all of my art into a set where it's all linked together. So this really helped me. So simple first step is making a chart of things you love, hate, feel strongly about, find interesting or important, etc. And doing like a couple ideas under each of those. And then if that's difficult for you, I just put down like meditate about it, write about it, whatever engages your brain. And then lastly, choose 3 and narrow it down to 1. And it helps to talk to friends about this, what they think is interesting. Because you are doing it for yourself, but you are also doing it for an audience. And keep in mind that this is things that I've learned making fine arts. And I do think there's stuff to take away from it in the graphic design world. It depends on what you want to do, but I don't know too much about that, honestly. So step 2 is developing an idea. And it helps to know the difference between an idea versus a subject. So a subject, I put example frogs, let's say. Like, I like frogs. Frogs are like, this is just an example. So, and then the idea is developing why you're choosing to make art about frogs. So I put as an example, like, what connections do you have with frogs, symbolism, memories, etc., and why your subject is important without being cliche. So like, what message do you want to send to your audience about it? And I know for me, it takes a really long time to develop a strong idea. So I'm assuming that that's the case for most people. So just be patient with yourself. And then step 3 is research, depending on what you've chosen your idea to be. So Google Scholar, empirical articles, interviewing whoever, it depends on which subject you've decided to roll with. And if it's scientific, which it doesn't have to be, it can be very personal, it can be whatever you're passionate about. Then just educate yourself with trustworthy sources. And then step 4, this was something that was taught to me maybe like a year or 2 ago, but developing an elevator pitch, which is 2 to 3 sentences summarizing your idea. Anyone of age can easily understand, and it's short enough to tell someone in an elevator ride. So this really comes in handy if you're in like an art show and people are coming to ask you like, what is your art about? And you want to interest them, you don't want to bore them, and you also want to tell it in a way that's easily understandable. And then 3 guidelines for writing your elevator pitch is get to the point, rewrite it. Sometimes it takes weeks. I know it took weeks for me to write mine, and avoid a passive voice because you want to sound professional. And then I put some prompts for you guys. For example, like I make connections between blank and blank, or the example that I put is I created this image blank to express my blank, which in this case, my frustration concerning our city's disregard for the homeless. And then the last step is to make art about that idea. And I just put a special thanks for all my professors who helped me with this. So again, I haven't mastered any of this. It's mainly just information that I thought that you guys should know. It really helped me to make art without having to have like prompts from teachers, and making art that I care about and I'm proud to present. And that's it.
Yay!
Very interesting. Needs more graphics though.
What was that? Oh, it needs more pictures? Yeah, sorry, I was gonna make it more interesting, but this was like last minute.
So Robin, what do you have an artist statement that you can share with us?
You know what? I just got this new computer, and all of my, I had 2 or 3 because I have like different sets. So I can like summarize mine, but I don't have them written out anymore. One was on eusociality, which I kind of shared with you guys about the bees, and eusociality is a it's a way that bees communicate with each other. And my artist statement was about what humans can learn from that and how we already reflect some of those traits in our culture. And then another one was more fun, I guess. It was this concept of like the idea of magic. Like we always view magic as like some external force and some like otherworldly thing. And this statement was about how magic can be like it's an internal thing. It comes from like each one of us. So those were two off the top of my head.
Nice. Well, thank you. That was really interesting.
It was great. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I had a question.
Yeah.
So you're not making like an artistic statement or this general artist statement that you're talking about for an individual piece, right? It's like basically for yourself to generate new ideas about this statement or within your statement.
Yeah, to put it into simple terms, as an example, let's say you're doing a set of like 5 to 6 pieces, and it helps to like brainstorm what you want to make art about. But then also, if you decide that you want to be part of like an artist show or show off your set, that helps to get your idea across to your audience.
So you're not trying to create like your own like this thing that you're going to be expressing for your whole career. It's just like maybe a specific project or something that you're working on.
Yeah. I mean, you can make like as many sets as you want as an artist. It doesn't have to be like everything you do.
Right. Cool. That helps me understand that more. That's really cool. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, of course. Something that I do sometimes is I'll do like a semester or something. Like I'll focus all my 1 classes on one idea, and then the next semester I'll write another artist statement and do all my art that semester on that other idea that I'm interested about. So it just helps for your artwork to be more like connected to each other, if that makes sense.
Like a cohesive
That's the word I was
power.
thinking.
Yeah.
Cool. Right on.
Yeah, very nice. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is take a little break right now, and then when we come back, we're going to learn some more Photoshop and talk about another little project. So why don't you guys take 15 minutes, and we'll come back at 2:23.
Thank you. Are we doing
Hello again. For those of you who are here.
sort of?
So I wanted to start out by showing you a little article.
I'm sorry, that's impossible.
Okay, well, I wanted to, but apparently it's not going to work for Kim.
Our goal for today is to watch Epithet Erased because I say so.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And you know how we had that presentation about graffiti, and we were talking about the different artists like Shepard Fairey and how he did the Obama poster and things like that? Well, I just saw this article, and I put a link to it on the website. And it seems that the mayor of Los Angeles has asked artists to help spread the word for people to wear masks and social distance and protect each other from the virus. And one of the first artists that they asked was Shepard Fairey. And so Shepard Fairey made 3 posters for Los Angeles to spread the word.
That's so proactive, California to use art like that. That is just so cool.
So here's the first poster. It comes from Shepard Fairey's studio.
Gorgeous.
And here is the second one.
Awesome. Looks like he's wearing a baseball shirt.
And here's the third one.
Oh, pretty.
So what's nice about these, it's a series, right? It's like doing a series of art. You can look at the things that are consistent. So the background color, the palm trees, which represent Los Angeles, the blue color of the people, and then the way that they do the text, in a consistent manner, rounding it up at the top around the head, and the fact that most of the poster is, the torso of a human who's wearing a mask.
Right. The masks are all kind of the same, aren't they? If you go down to that other lady, the third lady. Yeah, they're sort of.
Yeah, and there's other elements here too, like he's either he or the people at his studio, because it might have been a group effort. They're showing different ethnicities. They're showing different sexes, and they're trying to be inclusive. And they're also using different languages. So
I didn't notice that, but they're different ages a little bit too.
Yeah, that's true. This one's a little older. Anyway, what do you guys think?
More communities used art in such a pretty way. So proactively like that. It's a nice way to send that message without being so authoritarian, militaristic.
Yeah, like if you saw these on the sides of buses or on posters on bus stops, they're so attractive that they'd be delightful to look at, as opposed to, wear your mask, save somebody's life kind of posters,
Yeah, like someone's grandmother wagging a finger at you.
What's that, Luke?
Yeah, instead of guilt tripping people, it's just becomes maybe kind of cool or something to do it. Or it's creating this idea of, or it's it's not creating it, but it's spreading the idea of wearing a mask for other people. It's not just your own, it's not just for yourself, it's for the sake of containing it for others. So I think that's pretty cool.
It is very cool.
It's, palm trees it makes a mental connection to something that's not sterile, but more relaxing. The colors in the palm trees and.
Yeah, it's truly awesome. So anyway, there's a link on the website if you want to read more about it. Okay, so what I wanted to do with Photoshop today was first wanted to show you how to use a specific feature in Photoshop, which is called Select Subject. And this is a feature which allows you to, at the click of a button, pull and highlight the subject of a photo on a page. So in order to do this, you guys are going to need to download some images which are on the website. So you'll have to go to the website, which is pima.dreamco.com. You'll have to go to today's class here. And by the way, if you're having trouble with your internet because of the weather or something like that, you can just watch the demo instead of downloading the images. But where it says bullet point 5 here, where it says look at select subject in Photoshop using these images, I'd like you to click on that where it says these images, and I'd like you to download these images. So what I'm going to do is shift click on all three of them, right click, and then just say download. And Google's going to zip them all into a folder and then download it for me. And so here it is. It downloads an archive. And then I can open that up and I have my pictures available, right? So here they are, drive, download. And I'm going to grab this first picture, example1.jpg. I'm going to drag it down here on top of my Photoshop icon and launch it in Photoshop. Now, I got these from a YouTube guy who was doing a little tutorial on this. And you can see that he's put, this is the name of his company, I assume, and he put a little disclaimer here, almost like a watermark, right? And what's interesting, this doesn't work perfectly, but I'll just show you because I tried it. Do you remember that fill, that content-aware fill that I did the other day? You can do this on this and get rid of most of it. It's not perfect. It messes her neck up a little bit, but if you drag a marquee, a rectangular marquee around the watermark there, and you say edit fill, and then you choose content aware in the fill drop down and choose OK. You see what it does? It does an excellent job on the gray and on her hair. It just absolutely blends everything together. The only place where it kind of sucks is right here, where it sort of mismatched her neck with her hair, you know. But, you know, if you wanted to, you could go back in and you could use the clone stamp tool and clone stamp some of her hair in here and clean this up. But, you know, this is just, I just thought it was a good example to show you how well this this tool can work, the content aware fill. All right, but anyway, what we're looking to do today is called select subject. So what I need you to do is open this image, come over here to the left side of your toolbox and click on the magic wand tool. Now when you do that, you're going to see up at the top here there is a button called select subject. All right, go ahead and click on that button, and Photoshop is going to think a little bit. Okay, and now what it does is it looks at the picture and it says, what is the subject of this photo? And of course, the subject doesn't have to be a human being. It could be a cow, it could be a car, whatever. It's whatever the main focus of the picture is, right? And what it does is it makes a selection around it, okay? Now, if your layers palette isn't open, go ahead and open it up. You can go window layers, right, to open it up. I guess my layers were over on the right and I missed them. Yeah, here they are, way over here. So, and then what you want to do is open up your layers palette and come down here to the bottom of your layers palette and click on the mask icon. This is the one that we used before when we were doing like the Bahamas and the World Tour. Click on the mask icon, and what happens is it cuts the background out and just leaves the subject, right? Now, this selection is obviously not perfect. There's gray stuff down here you'd probably have to erase or remove with some other Photoshop tools. Same is true over here and inside. Basically, where you can see through her hair, there's some junk you'd have to get rid of. But the selection of the woman and her hair is pretty darn good, especially just for one click, right? Now, you're always going to have issues with people with hair. That's always going to be a recurring factor. But that was a pretty good example of a halfway decent selection done with the select subject. Now, if we want to see a really good selection, we have to open up one of those other photos. Let's open up example number 3. Take that and drag it, or if you're on a PC, just open it. Oops, sorry, I'm not quite sure what happened there. Okay. So this one right here is going to make an excellent selection. And the main reason is because of the lack of long hair from this guy. So once again, you open this image 3, click on the magic wand tool, come up here and click on select subject, and it's going to select him. And then after it's done thinking, open up your layers palette and click on the mask icon. Now look at this. That is just an unreal selection for a one click, right? And not only that, but you can zoom in here and look at how good this is. Really, really excellent selection of the subject. Now, you know, we're just ignoring this text here because it's just there for like a watermark, copyright kind of thing. But now if you want to do something like add a background behind this character, you can just click to add a new layer, and you can drag that layer down below the existing layer, and then you can simply fill it in with a color. So we can double click over here on our foreground color, select any color we want, and there's our foreground color. And now we can do select all on the background color and say edit fill. And now we can say that we want to fill with the foreground color, which is whatever color we chose. And there you go. And look at how beautiful that is. We can end the selection by going select deselect, or Control or Command D will also stop it. But you know, now you just have your pick of cool things you want to do. You could put gradients in the background. You could put a new photograph back there to place him in another location. One of the things that's interesting about the blue that I put in is if we turn this off, if you zoom in, you can see that there is, I can't tell if that's, it looks like light, blue light shining on his face, but you can also tell he's wearing makeup because of the way that the light kind of highlights his skin. But because there's that blue, because there's different colors, there's a blue light here, there might be some light that is in the purple or pink category. Any of those colors that you use as a background is really going to accentuate different parts of him. So right now we have blue, right? But, you know, let's say we decided to use sort of a purpley pink. So I'm going to do select all. And I'm, you know, I might just make a new layer just so I can try out different colors, right? Edit, fill with the foreground color. And now, you know, we've got pink and we can see what that looks like. Another thing you can do to make the background tie in even better with him is sample a color from him. In this case, we might sample a color from his jacket. Like, how about I sample this orange color, which I can do by clicking on the eyedropper tool and then clicking on whatever color I want to pick. That becomes the foreground color. And now I can make a new layer by clicking this little new layer icon. I can do select all, which selects the entire page. And then once again, I can do edit fill. Once again with the foreground color, and this time I get this color. Now, look at how great that works out with him. I mean, because that color's in his jacket, he just looks really good, you know, against that color. Now, there's other things you can do to make him stand out even more. You could add a drop shadow. And I'm not sure how that's going to work with the mask and everything, but we can click down here on the effects panel and do drop shadow. And then, of course, my drop shadow comes up over here. These are all my options. I'm gonna drag them out a whole bunch just so I can see if anything's happening. And it is, you can see that, I'll try to make this really obvious. Okay, here we go. So you can see that where the drop shadow is coming out. And if we let it come out on all sides of him, it looks kind of like he's a cardboard cutout. So, you know, we would probably want to take this little device right here, which is called angle. Let me try and make this smaller so you guys can see it. It looks like it's not going to get any smaller. This little device right here, this little function, it shows us where the light source is. So if the light source is coming from the top left, the shadow appears on the right, you know, and vice versa, like this. So, you know, oftentimes you don't want to have the light right above your head because it's just going to be an even amount of shadow, and that tends to look a little weird. So, you know, you want to pick a side that the shadow is coming from. You want to reduce the spread of the shadow so that maybe it just comes out on one side and not both. And then, of course, you can take the opacity of the shadow down so it's not so pronounced that it becomes obnoxious, right? And, you know, when we do stuff like that, it just gives him a little bit more realism, you know, versus the background. And, you know, you could go on and do any, you know, a number of different things on this background. to interact with him, to make the graphics interact with him and look really good. Now the third choice that we have of those pictures, which is example number 2, is kind of like halfway in between example 1 and 3, in the sense that it's not as good as 3 and it's not as bad as 1. And by that I mean the quality of the selection that's made. Now I'm going to go ahead and try again. Once again, I don't know how good this is going to be, but just for grins, I'm going to see how my content aware fill does. So I'm going to draw a marquee, a rectangular marquee around that text I want to get rid of. I'm going to do edit fill, and then I'm going to choose content aware and OK. And we'll see how it does. Well, and you can see it did kind of a crappy job. You know, it replicated her arm down here and messed with the bottom of that. So sometimes that stuff works. Sometimes it's no good, right? And sometimes you can get a slightly better version of it by picking a smaller area. So if I do content aware fill on just her stomach, well, it still wasn't great. Okay. All right. Well, here, this will be a good example. If I do it just on the gray area, it's almost certainly going to do a good job because all that surrounds it is gray. It could get some of her arm over here, which would suck. But see how that did? That did a great job. It just got rid of all that, you know, and so on and so forth. So, and by the way, if you know, we're not going to steal this guy's image or anything like that. But if you were really desperate to get rid of some junk somebody put on an image, you could always use the clone stamp tool. So you Option or Alt click with the clone stamp tool selected on the area you want, and then you just come down here and you paint with that color, and it's going to help you, you know, get rid of whatever junk they put that you don't want. Now, of course, you have other tools like the blending tools. Or, you know, after you're done, you can come back in and blend all this together. You have the healing brush tools, which will allow you to make this stuff look cleaner and make it look like it all, you know, belongs where it's supposed to be and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, just little options for you. All right, but let's go ahead and let's look at the select subject for this this image here. So we're going to click on the magic wand. We're going to click select subject right up here. Photoshop's going to think for a little while. It's going to put a little selection around her. Now you can see, you know, if I stop right here, you can see that it did a pretty good job, but there's a couple places it did a lousy job. And you can actually fix that before you go on to the next step. So like, here's an area that it didn't select, you know, it selected her, but it also selected too much of this gray. So what I can do is I can go to my selection tools and I can click on my lasso tool. I can hold down my Alt key or my Option key on the Mac, and I can surround the area that I don't want with my lasso. So I'm going to surround all of this area under her arm, this gray area. I'm going to surround this with my lasso. And what that's going to do while I'm holding down my Alt key or the Option key on the Mac, it's going to minus that stuff from the selection. It's going to remove it from the selection. So I'm getting rid of that junk, right? Now there's, here's another little piece I don't want right here at the bottom. Now there's some things that it didn't select that I do want, like I want more of her hair. So this time I'm going to hold down my Shift key and I'm going to drag my lasso around the area I want, right? And then I can go back and forth between the two, hold down my Option key, remove this junk, go down here. If there's a little piece of her hand that I didn't quite get, hold down my Shift key and get that. And so I can just kind of look, you know, carefully look and see what I got and what I didn't get. And overall, it's not perfect, but it's pretty darn good, and it's good enough for me. So I'm going to go ahead and work with this, take out one little blob here, and then I'm good to go. Okay, so I clicked on my magic wand. I did select subject. I used my magic lasso with my Alt and my Shift key to subtract the things I don't want and add in the things I do want. And now I open up my layers palette and click on the mask icon. And sure enough, it selects her and cuts out the background. And it's a pretty darn good selection. Once again, it's not perfect. There's little bits of her hair here that still retain whatever light gray color that was in the background. But you can add a new layer, drag it down to the bottom, add any color you want in the background, and you'll get to see where things are good and bad. You know, you can see that, you know, obviously there's some little pieces of her hair here that, you know, could be erased. Little granules of junk that you could go in and clean up, you know. And when you do all this little homework or whatever, it's going to look great. It's going to be a really clean, beautiful selection, right? So this is a really cool tool to know about, and it can help you. It can help expedite your work when you're trying to pull certain subjects out of photographs in Photoshop. Okay, any questions about the select subject tool? Okay, so the next thing I wanted to do was I wanted to talk to you about the next assignment and show you what it is and how to do it. So the next assignment is going to be working on a catalog, a double page spread of a catalog. I'm going to open up this link which says catalog layouts, and I'm just going to show you some examples. Now, the catalog you do can be for anything. It can be for little gems like this. It can be, let's see, I'm trying to find some examples that are good ones. Catalog. Okay, here's one. This looks like sort of, it says hand tools. Oh, I see. These are like little carriers, cases to hold hand tools. And then over here are things like utility knives. Here's a catalog that appears to have things like purses and shoes and bicycles, and so on and so forth. So here's one that has rifles. Here's a clothing catalog over here. Where did that one go? Okay, and then just a last example. Here's one that is, this is more like a insert in a newspaper or something like that than a catalog, but you know, it's showing wine and food items, right? So the assignment here is going to be to go ahead and make a double page spread of a catalog selling something, and it can be anything you want. Now, what I'd like you to do is use Illustrator and Photoshop in conjunction to make this. I'd actually like you to make the catalog in Illustrator, but to work on the images in Photoshop. And I'll show you what I mean by that. When we're in Illustrator and we create something, if we want to take that into Photoshop, it's very easy. There's multiple ways we can do it. We can export it as a PNG file, but we can also just copy it and then go into Photoshop and paste it in. And then we have a variety of different ways that we can paste it in, and that's one way to bring objects in from Illustrator to Photoshop, right? But how do we do the opposite? How do we take images from Photoshop and put them into Illustrator? Well, let's look at that. So let's say that I was making a catalog of clothing, right? And so I wanted to use this picture of this young lady. Well, I might do something like take the background color off so that she's just has transparent background there. And I also might crop this down so that, you know, it's just the woman and not all this extra stuff. Now, to crop this picture, I could click on my cropping tool here, which is this one right here. I could grab these crop handles and I could simply drag them in, right, to where I want them to go. Oops, I'm grabbing the lady instead of the crop handle. Okay. And then what this is going to do, once I click my enter button, or I click on this check mark up here, it's going to go ahead and crop the image for me, right? Okay, now if I want to make a catalog in Illustrator and place images in there, it makes sense that the first thing I would do is go into Illustrator and set up the page, which is going to be the catalog page, right? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into Illustrator. I'm going to say File, New, and I'm going to say that I want to do a print item, and I want it to be tabloid. Now, letter is 8.5 by 11, and tabloid is 11 by 17. Tabloid is basically a sort of a mini poster, right? But the reason I want to do tabloid is because I want to do tabloid and turn it on its side. So I want to do tabloid, and I want to click landscape mode, which will turn it like this. Now, tabloid in landscape mode is essentially two 8.5 by 11 pages next to each other. So if I just hit create, it's going to go ahead and make this page for me, which is essentially two 8.5 by 11 pages, right? Now, I'm trying to get you guys to make a double page spread. So it would be like you would open up a magazine, and right there in the middle, there'd be a catalog with stuff on both pages. Now that I have my tabloid page in Illustrator, I can zoom in a little bit. If I want to, I can get it so this whole thing just fits in my window. And then I can turn on my rulers, which will give me the ability to use guidelines. So I can say view rulers, show rulers, or I can just hit Control R or Command R on the Macintosh and my rulers will pop up. Now it's endlessly annoying that they always come up in picas and points. And you can go into your preferences and then go into units and change the general units to inches or whatever you're used to. Some of you may be used to centimeters or, maybe some of you are used to picas and points. Okay, but once I've got it back to inches, now I know what I'm doing. I can click on the left ruler, hold my mouse down, and drag a guideline out over to 8.5 inches, which is right about here. Okay, and what that does is it gives me the double page spread. There's an 8.5 by 11 sheet over here and an 8.5 by 11 sheet over here, and I can do my work here and see it all as one page. Now, of course, you could do something like make two artboards in Illustrator and have them each be 8.5 by 11. But the nice thing about this is if I want any graphics to continue over from one to the next, they can do that. Okay, so now let's say that I want to place the young woman in here because I'm going to do a clothing catalog. I can go back to Photoshop, and then I have to save this woman in a format that will easily drop into Illustrator. One of the best formats for that is the PNG format, PNG, because it supports transparency and transparent backgrounds. So if I go File, Save As, I have a variety of different formats that I can save in right here, one of which is PNG. And so if I just call this Model 1, and I put it on my desktop in PNG format, I'm going to leave all the defaults that it asked me about. And then it's going to go ahead and save that image, right? Now, when I want to place this into Illustrator, I have to actually use the place command. So let me go over to Illustrator, and I'm going to go File, and I'm going to come down here to this command in the File menu called Place. And now I'm going to search my desktop for Model 1, the file that I just saved. And here she is. And I'm going to hit Place. Now what happens is it takes that picture and it puts it into my cursor, all right? And I actually have two options of how I want to place this. I could actually just click once and place it, or I could, I believe I can click and drag is another option I can do. I normally just click once, but I'll just try clicking and dragging and see what happens. Yeah, clicking and dragging is nice because then it places it at a specific size, right? If I undo that and do my place command again, if this time I just click once, what it's going to do is it's just going to put her in at the size she really is, which may not be the size I want, I may want a smaller version of this. Okay, but anyway, so I've got this picture of this model here. Since she looks like she's got a certain kind of angle here, I think this picture might look kind of good in a corner, right? It looks like she's almost forming a little bit of a corner with her legs and her arm there. Now, other things that I need to think about are the margin of the page, right? When you do a design, you don't want it to go all the way to the margin, unless, of course, you're doing something called a full bleed, which is images that go right off the margin. But what I tend to do is put in some guidelines which are margins for me. So what I'll do is take a guideline from the top and drag it down to about 1/4 of an inch from the top of the page. I'll use these little tick marks on the ruler to determine where 1/4 of an inch is. Actually, this far out, that might be a 1/2 inch. Let me see. No, it's 1/4 of an inch. And then I'll grab my little guidelines from the vertical ruler and do the same there. And so you can see now I have this little guide going all the way around. I can click on my model and I can use the arrow keys on my keyboard to move her over so her elbow hits right at that 1/4 of an inch and to make sure that her legs don't go past the 1/4 of an inch, right? So that's gonna allow for the edge of the page, right? Now, what I'm asking you to do with this catalog is to put in a variety of different images of, you know, your products or services that you're selling, but then also to put in some detailed text and a price and a name, right? And the reason I'm having you do this in Illustrator, Illustrator is really good with layout and text and placing images. And this is a good way for you to see the combination of these two programs, what each program does best. Now, you could do this entire catalog in either Illustrator or Photoshop, but by using the two together, we get the power of Photoshop to do things like select subject and get rid of the background, and then the power of Illustrator to do linking text boxes and other things that Illustrator is really good at. So, you know, I could put a little text block in here that I can go back in and fill in later that's going to have details about the clothing she's wearing. I can also put a price in here and I can put a name, right? So let's put in a big price. Let's put in $19.99 or something like that. And of course, you know, you'd be making choices about fonts and things of that nature at this point too. Let's see, what's a font that I'm gonna like for this? I'm just gonna pick, none of these are really floating my boat. So I'll just grab this one, Source Sans Variable. Okay, I wonder if there's a bold version of that. Oh, there is, semi-bold, bold. Let's do bold. Okay, so I just have this font called Source Sans Variable. You may not have it. You can use whatever font you want, you know. So obviously this is going to be the price. These are going to be the details. And then I need some kind of a name for my ensemble here. So, so let's call this Summer Fun Ensemble. Okay, now I have to, you guys might have picked this up already, but like I know nothing about fashion. I know nothing about prices. I know nothing about clothing. So I'm sure my price is completely bogus. I'm sure nobody names anything a fun ensemble, but here it is, right? Anyway, okay, so there's Summer Fun Ensemble. Now, I can go grab my other pictures from Photoshop. I can take this picture of the guy. I can drop out all my backgrounds that I had. I can use my crop tool to crop him down as well, so that we get just the picture of the man. I can see that my drop shadow is still on here, and I don't want that. You know, so I'm going to turn my drop shadow off by clicking on this eyeball. Okay, so now same thing here. I can, you know, I could save this guy as a ping, but saving as a ping kind of takes a little while. It takes a while for Photoshop to save. So there's this cool feature here called export, and then it says quick export as ping. And what it does is it just saves it really fast. So if I just go quick export as ping, and I call this guy Model 2, and save him on the desktop. Look how quickly it's going to save it. Boom, it's done, right? So now I can go to Illustrator. Once again, File, Place, locate my Model 2 image, and hit Place. Now this guy, I like this guy for maybe down here in the lower part. Maybe I can click and drag out my box and make him fit right down here. So what I like about this is this guy, once again, forms sort of a natural corner, but also it kind of looks like he's looking at this young lady over here, so it adds some dynamics to the graphic, right? Sort of a visual, line of sight over here. But now I could copy this stuff here. I can click on my text. I can hold down my Shift key, click on the cost, click on this. I can hold down my Alt key and click on all of this, and it will make a copy of it, right? And then just drag it over and put it where this guy is, right? And then we could call this Sleek Jacket. I don't know what it is. Sleek Jacket, and this one's going to be 29. Now, so, once again, I'm just kind of putting examples in here, but some things that you can do to really dress up your catalog page. You could use a cool background image, and I'll just use what I have available to me right now. So I'll take the example one girl, and let me leave her really big like this, and save her as Model 3. So I'm going to use my export, quick export as ping, and call this Model 3 on the desktop. And what I'm going to try and do is kind of screen her back in the background so she becomes like the background of this whole thing. So once again, File, Place. I'll go find my model, Model 3. Place her in there. Okay, and I'm gonna click and drag out over the whole image here. So there she is. She's I can kind of center her like this. I can look at my layers in Illustrator. Window, layers. I guess my layers are up. I just can't. There's so much stuff here. I just can't see them. Sometimes when that happens, you have to turn something off and then turn it back on again to see it. So what's happening here, it looks like Photoshop is showing through on the backside of Illustrator, so it's kind of messing me up. So I have to kind of make Illustrator a little wider and then cover Photoshop up so I don't click on the wrong set of buttons. But because I can't see where my layers palette is, I don't know where the hell it is. Oh, here it is. It's way back over here. Oh, come on. All right, there we go. All right, so right now everything is on the same layer, and I could really improve my workflow by moving some of these things to different layers. So for example, I could give this layer, I could call this layer Products. I could make a new layer and drag it down below the Products layer and call it Background. And then I can take the model number 3. If I click on her, it highlights a little colored dot of what layer she's on. And if I click on that dot and drag it straight down, now it puts her on the background layer, right? So you can see that now she's on the background layer by turning the eyeball on and off, right? Now, if I want to do something like make her more transparent, I can click on the meatball here, this little round circle, which selects everything that's on the layer. I can go Window and then Transparency, and then bring my transparency thing over here, and I can click on this slider and I can make her way more transparent, right? And that's my goal with her, is to make her just kind of, this sort of background image or whatever that might kind of dress up the page a little. So of course I could just keep going with this. I could put a gradient background behind her. I could put pictures of 2 people eating dinner or camping or playing golf or whatever. you know, or maybe they're at the beach, you know, maybe this is a young person's ad. But the idea is to make an ad where you're selling products, a double page ad, so a double page spread, and that, you know, you're using photos that you manipulate in Photoshop, you place them in Illustrator. And one last thing I'll say about this, it also would be really helpful to create a color palette that goes with this. So for example, I could go to, you know, Color Lovers, and remember Color Lovers is spelled with in the English spelling of color, which is COLOURLOVERS.com. And I can think about what my ad is for. So we always advertise for the next season if it's fashion, right? So right now it is summer, but it's going into fall. So, you know, those clothes I just showed you were not really fall clothes, but I can go in here and I can type fall as a palette and hit my search icon. And what it's going to do is come back with a bunch of fall colors, right? Now I'm just going to grab whichever one of these kind of floats my boat. I kind of like this one right here for some reason. So I'm going to click on it. Now there's different ways. You can get an account, a free account with these guys, and then you can download palettes, which is really cool. I like to do something that's way cheaper and faster. I just take a screenshot of the palette that I like. So I'm just going to do Command-Shift-3 on my Macintosh and do a screenshot of this. And then I'm going to go open. I'm going to come down to my screenshots. I'm going to find the one that I just took, which is strangely way back here. I'm going to open it up. And then inside of Photoshop, I'm just going to go ahead and draw a little rectangular selection around my marquee. Now, one of the cool things you can do in Photoshop is you can make a selection and then you can go image crop, and it will crop everything except what you have selected, right? And, you know, okay, obviously there's a little piece of white down there, but I don't care. I just want the colors, right? Now I can go ahead and quickly export this as a ping. I can call it like fall palette, right? And then I can drop this into here to help me work on my project here. So I just go look for that fall palette, place it in. Oh, I put it on the wrong layer. I put it on that background layer, which is, you know, semi-transparent. Oops. So we'll go place, and then do the fall palette, and just place it here. Okay. So now I've got that. So now I can do things like, you know, obviously I'd have to change all my clothing to fall and everything, but I can click on something like the text here. I can click on my eyedropper tool, and then I can go up and I can sample colors from this palette, right? So I just got that cool red from that, right? Or I can click on this one here, click here and get the green, you know? And so now, you know, I could do things like I could put in, you know, if I wanted to put in like a line underneath this and make this line red, so that, and make it a little thicker. Let's see, my stroke. Okay, flip these, kill the green, and then make it thinner. Okay. So, you know, what I'm trying to show you is we got red over there and green over here, but then I could put a red line over here, which kind of connects the two colors together. And if I want this to be a little longer, I can click on it with my white arrow tool and hold my shift key down. Just click on the end and drag it out a little bit, right? So you can see, you know, as long as I have the proper products, you know, that go with fall, I put in an interesting background, I have nice photography, and I do my layout nicely, I can create a really nice looking catalog here, double page spread of products. Okay, so that is the assignment that I would like you guys to work on after, obviously, you've put all these other assignments to bed. And are there any questions that anybody has or comments or anything?
I do have one. How much? Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
I think he's, go ahead, Adrian, and then Luke.
Oh. I was gonna ask, how many like items do you recommend? Like 3, 4, 5?
Well, what I recommend is that you go find a product catalog that, you know, or find a couple of product catalogs that you like the look of and see how many products they use. Most catalogs really try to make, because it's expensive, they really try to get their money's worth. So I would think on a double page spread like this, you could easily have, you know, 6 to 10 items and they'd be much smaller. Do you know what I mean? 3 to 4 items a page at least. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Luke?
I was wondering, like, if we can just kind of use, because I kind of wanted to go around and take pictures of random things in my house and just kind of like come up with something, you know, like that. I don't know.
Okay. Well, first of all, I encourage creativity. So what you're talking about is fine.
Okay. Just we'll try to make like some kind of cohesive subject for what it all is, like, or a store or a company or something that it all fits under.
Or you could just be funny, and it could be a catalog of useless things that Luke's collected over the years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm not saying that that's what you have in your house, but you know what I mean. It could just be fun.
Yeah, yeah. All right, cool.
All right.
So then the select subject is not required for the assignment?
No, not at all. It's just another tool that you can use if you decide that you're gonna do an ad from the Humane Society, which is going to show a bunch of animals that are ready for adoption, and then you go to a free picture website like Free Images or Unsplash or Pexels, and you get these great pictures of dogs and cats. That select subject will help you cut them out of the background.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
Luke, I just had an idea. If I were doing this assignment, I might do a catalog of all the musical equipment I would like to buy. You know.
Oh, I was gonna do a guitar one. I went to this really cool guitar place in Houston. It was like 50 years in business or something, and they had guitars everywhere. It was guitar heaven. Maybe I'll get some images from there and do that because it was really fun. And the owner was there and was talking with us.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, you know, I really encourage you guys to do things that you're inspired by, and they can be funny or they can be wacky or they can be serious or however you want to play it. But do something that you enjoy, and I'm sure we'll enjoy it too. Okay, other questions or comments? Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you guys a little time. I'm going to give you somewhere in the 30-40 minute range to work on things, and then I'm going to jump back in and we'll do our show and tell. And so let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, hello again. Those of you who are still with us.
Hello.
I fell asleep. What happened?
So we're back, and anybody have any questions or anything before we go on to the next thing?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. So it's time for show and tell. And I think what I'm going to do is, I think I'm just going to go down my list, share my screen here. go to, let's see. I gotta find my little Pima link somewhere in my 3 gazillion links. It's probably better. It's probably faster just to go in again. Okay.
Well,
Okay, so let's see who we got here. So Cynthia, you have anything for show and tell today? What's that?
I don't.
Oh, you don't? Okay, that's fine.
Next week.
Next week. All right. Let's see. Carolina?
I think I do.
Okay, let's find out. Is this the?
Yeah, that's the last one. I thought I uploaded the one I'm currently working on.
Oh, okay, so this is last week's.
Yeah. I'm currently working on one. I thought I uploaded one.
Okay, do you want to upload it, and we'll go on to some other ones, and we'll come back to you. Let me know when it's up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So Kim?
Me. So stop eating Doritos.
Show and tell and Doritos.
Yes, as all good days should go. Go ahead, pick something. So this is the background for the animation that I did from last year. My not as good one that I showed here.
Very pretty.
I did make this in Photoshop. I was gonna say I didn't, but then I realized all I didn't do in Photoshop was the filter that I put on to make it all blue. And then the moonbeams. Because it's originally a very bright picture.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
It's still one of my favorites that I've done. I think I put an older one in there. I could be completely wrong. We'll find out. We'll find out what I put in here. I just throw stuff in.
That's cool.
Fog.
I've been in that alley.
I live in that alley.
Right?
Look at my legs right there.
I was those your tendrils.
Alrighty, so this went along with the project. Where's the flag? Okay, we're gonna pretend that things are functioning right. So this goes with the Queen, Knight, and Peasant that I showed earlier, last week. This is supposed to be the Life Kingdom.
Beautiful. I like the flowers.
Hey, Kim, did you use a specific paintbrush for the leaves and the grass?
For the leaves, yes. I can't remember if I did it for the grass or not. I probably did. This was around the time when I downloaded a whole bunch of different brushes and I was just going through them all and seeing all the different stuff that I had.
Cool.
So I totally cheated. But the wood stuff I did by myself, so that was cool.
Using different
I thought they took
brushes
off the one
isn't
that was-
cheating.
It's totally
Huh?
cheating. No, it's
Well,
fun.
no, it's not cheating.
I love going
extra
through all the brushes I have.
Artists use different brushes, so there. I mean, in traditional art.
Right.
So, yeah. Which I have a.
Cheating would
that's
be
all I'm doing.
facing exactly.
That's fair. That is cheating. That's cheating and expulsion right there, and I don't need either of that. And there are some of the stickers that I got. I have the huge folder, which is the other half. And by the other half, I mean a lot of stickers and I didn't get a chance to take a picture of them last night because I was too busy working on the bracelet.
Those are cool. So where did you get those?
Those are some of the ones that we got off, or that I got off Redbubble.
Oh, with your credit?
No, these are the ones I bought before I figured out how to use it right.
Oh, okay.
And then I have the others that did have credit right next to me in a big red folder.
Now, how big are these?
They're not that big. They're only like a couple inches. Those are the smaller ones. If I can, let me pull out. So we'll do a mini live show and tell too. Woohoo! Right. So like this is a smaller one. The camera's over here, smaller than the palm of my hand.
Okay.
It's the one space scroll that you see at the top.
Oh yeah, I see.
I point as you can't see my screen. I'm almost there. And then, sweet, I'll show off one of my friend's art. This is done by my friend. As you can see, it's like as big as my head. This is the medium size.
And it's a sticker?
This is a sticker.
Nice.
Right? I mean, if you're a fan of Danganronpa, I'm like trying to hold on to it with my pinky finger since I also have food in this hand. There we go.
Yeah, Kokichi, I think his name was.
Yep. Kokichi. This
Yeah.
little menace.
Doesn't everyone hate him?
Actually, everyone kind of loves him, even though he's a pain in the ass.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
well,
see
that's
the
what I have
lion
heard.
one. Is that Kibo? I love that.
I have more. Hang on. I'll just promote my friend's art.
Oh my goodness.
Where's his other one?
Ironically, like I love Danganronpa. Oh,
Fashion.
I love him. He's my favorite.
I'm sitting over here loving Ryoma, and he's the only one that doesn't have a lot of art, of course.
Listen. For me, it's either Rentaro or Kibo.
That's valid. But there's a lot of art for both of them, and I'm sitting over here. I can't draw him. I can't do anything
Mood.
for him. It makes me sad, but I'm going to.
Are those characters from, I think, V3?
V3, yeah.
Yeah. Ironically, I don't mean to start talking about Danganronpa, but
I mean, I'll sit here for an hour and talk about it.
So I play a game, I guess it's called Identity 5, and they recently just had a Danganronpa event where
that sounds cool.
if you guys ever played like Dead by Daylight or know about Dead by Daylight, where it's just it's like 4 survivors versus a hunter and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically Identity 5 is basically like that, but like Tim Burton style.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, what I mean by Tim Burton, I mean by like the Coraline where they have like buttons for eyes and all that.
That sounds really cool. Hang on, I need to write the name down. Not here.
So they literally just passed this event, but I love this game to bits, and I was able to get. They only gave out like 4 skins, I guess, for like certain characters, and I was able to get all 4.
Awesome.
Yeah. But they were from the first Danganronpa, so either or.
That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I've played like all of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you guys want to exchange some information, you can always use the chat here. I'm going to move on to the next student. Luke, Luca Beta, have you got any thing in show and tell?
I got like 2 things. They're both 2 rough sketches. That's one of them. Yeah, that was I went with the concept arts I did for the mascot project.
Cute.
He's really cute.
Soda Bandit, right?
Super cute. His grin
and this
is so memorable.
Was a weird theoretical thing I had involving underworld world in which imps, based on which of the 7 deadly sins they embrace the most, would change physiologically.
Okay, so
I don't know.
tell
I
that
can
you can tell that a big one, he must be glutton. The one with the heart is lust. The one with the triple Z's is sloth.
Yeah, you can tell with some that I may have ran out of ideas because like the one with the single eye, I'm pretty sure that's envy. I sort of figured out newer design for that. The greed one, I don't know where I was going with that. I might want to retract from that because stuff.
Obviously, with the envy one, you can put just a green eye and boom, that's jealousy right there.
Yeah, it's cool.
I told you I already came up with a better idea.
They're really cool.
And that's just the one we've already seen before.
Okay. Yeah, Luke, I hope you continue to develop this series because it would be fun to see each of these characters taken to the next level, more detail, and then maybe the word written under them, like maybe there's just a solo picture of Envy and it says Envy. It'd be nice to see a series of these.
Right.
Wait, sorry, is this Full Metal Alchemist?
Nope, never seen it. I've just had a fascination. This is just from fantasy stuff like D&D or stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's really cool.
It looks like a series already.
Don't. That's it for me for today.
Okay. Let's see. So then we have.
Hey, Greg, I uploaded my show and tell now. That's the drawing I'm doing for my friend's little brother. Sorry, that I'm not finished with yet. And
Is that a daughter of yours or someone you're babysitting?
yeah, that's my daughter.
And how old is she?
She's 2.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. She sounds cute.
She's pretty loud.
So go ahead.
Oh, but yeah, that's a drawing he requested. He had like a whole list of what his character wanted. I'm not done. He wants it colored, so that's just a rough sketch so far.
It's got nice detail.
You're gonna color it digitally or physically?
I'm gonna do it on a canvas.
Oh,
with
nice.
Paint.
What oil or acrylic?
Acrylic.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but I'm not done with it yet, and he's patiently waiting.
That's great. Super.
How long do you have?
He doesn't have, since he doesn't really want it immediately, he just has to take my time because I have school and the baby, so he understands and stuff like that. So he just said whenever I get it done. So I say like a month.
Yeah. It's
That's
beautiful.
very classic of artists is to just be on their creative and available time scale.
It's really nice. Let us know when you got some more work done on this so we can see it.
Okay, I will.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's see. Brianna, have you got anything?
Yes. No, next week. That's next week.
Yes,
So
next week.
There it is. So, last, I want to say, yeah, technically speaking, was this semester. I got back into Bakugan, if you guys have ever watched that before, and they have the whole entire series on YouTube. And so, to get through finals, I binge watched pretty much all of season 1 through like almost 2. And so I went and like drew one of the characters from it.
I
Cool.
remember that. That's such a good show back in the day.
I know. I didn't know you can buy the toys when I was little because, you know, as a girl, you didn't go through the boy section. And then I was trying to figure out why did all the kids in my class have freaking Bakugan? And then all of a sudden I realized that, like, when I passed through, I was like, wait, why is Ben 10 in the boy section? And I was like, I could have been buying all this stuff.
Those Bakugan things were so expensive though. I think for like a single card or two, and then also like the thing itself was like 5 something. And they're tiny.
Now they just revamped the whole entire series. So they now have the stuff for sale, but it's like about $25 to $15 if you want to get like a starter type thing. But during quarantine, I started watching Inuyasha, and for once in my life, I actually finished an anime. So I have the stuff I did during quarantine in here.
Nice.
That's really pretty. Oh, wow.
And then I did this maybe like a couple of days ago because now I'm into watching Bleach, which I shouldn't have done. But I started last week, and now I'm on season 4, episode 11, technically episode 73. And it's gotten to the point where I'm just like, I'm going to make it to 300 soon.
Oh, my goodness.
Good luck with that.
Hey, that turned out great, though. That's really nice.
Yeah, it is.
And then Inuyasha as a human.
Sorry, it looks like Michael Jackson to me. Michael Jackson with the pink pig. My frame of reference is different than your guys' frame of reference.
And then him as a full demon.
It's cool. I like this one.
Thank you. I think I have to say for Inuyasha, him being a full demon and him being human's like one of the best couple episodes. I don't know why. I can't explain to you. But like, I was so happy they had figurines of him like that. And then, of course, when I go to go buy them, they're sold out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did like a little blood one.
Yeah.
And I was like,
creepy.
Nice.
Super creepy. Good job, I guess.
Oh, I thank you.
One thing I noticed is your style is like the mouth is very very close to the chin, huh? That's like your style.
For this one, I was messing around, and so I ended up liking where his mouth was in that picture, so I just kept it.
Nice. Great. Okay, Serena?
Yes, hi.
Hi.
So I have a few things for mine, and they're not my art this time. They're more so my friend's art, and also like one thing I commissioned recently. So this is actually one of my closer friends' pieces of art. This is a character from Fire Emblem. His name is Claude, and a lot of people like him a lot. So,
that's really pretty. I love the background too.
Yep. I wanted to show off their art this time because like their art is very pretty, and I just thought that they should probably get more recognition and appreciation for it.
The hair.
I love the background. Like that's my thing. It's just like, look at that background.
Yeah. And the hair though, look at the hair. I missed it at first because I was taken by the background too, but the hair is very cool.
Right? I don't know who he is. I don't know why everyone likes him.
Check out the.
But I like this picture of him.
It's almost like eye makeup, you know, that the artist threw in there.
I think that's just like a style. Maybe it might have been style, but
Look at
then
like
again,
that. Well, you know, there's the shading and the eyebrows have that extra sort of artistic touch to it, but there is definitely like stuff on the eyelids that's very interesting.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
I want to draw like that.
So mood. So I commissioned this a few days ago to another artist on Twitter, and they had this, and I'm like, gee, these are very cheap, and I was able to get it, and it was my favorite Pokemon, and I loved it to bits still.
Yep.
And this is another pieces of her work. If anyone has like a Twitter or Instagram, and if you ever feel like following her, that's her thing up there. And this is also from a Fire Emblem character. He's more, and I put in air quotes, well known, I guess, through like Nintendo community and all that stuff.
I want to know.
He's one of my favorites. I love him.
I want to know what they did with like the flames on the sword. That was so cool.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
Me too. Me too.
Gorgeous.
I like it's like painterly, like on the arms, you know, the flesh. It's really kind of ties into what I was thinking about earlier and a little bit on my show and tell, but it's like painterly.
I think it's like a painting technically.
I
think
yeah,
she
I
did
have
a lot of
this. Mine's on digital painterly art, so you'll sort of tie into it there, but
yeah,
it looks like an oil painting.
Yeah. So this is another one of her pieces. Those two specifically were like ones that she put as like a portfolio. But the first one that she had, it was kind of like my personal favorite, so I had to put it in.
I would love to have this like as just a normal human's like portrait, just with all those effects, but like a person.
This one looks really cool. I like this one.
And I think that's it, but I have one more, but it leads to one of my friend's Twitter accounts. I can't get the video by itself, but if you're okay with me sending you like a Twitter link in the chat, which was one of my other friends, these two specifically went to a art school, so they went through all the art animation and all that stuff, and the link that I sent, she does animation a lot, I guess. Oops, I sent it to Kimberly. I'm sorry.
I can't
That's fine.
That is too.
Only I'm allowed to have it. None of you.
Oh, Kim, how much money do we have to give you? Thank you for sending. I got it.
So
there it is. Okay, cool. Yeah, well, let me keep going to make sure everybody gets show and tell, and then people can click on that link if they like.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Tell your friend their work is beautiful, and we really enjoyed it.
I will. I'll tell her.
So Adrian, do you have anything today?
Yeah, several pieces.
What should I click on the top here?
I guess you can go from the top. So
I love that guy.
I already saw that one. I think the one we already saw. Okay, so this is a drawing I did last week in my art class.
Nice.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, I didn't got all the angles correct, but now
That actually looks really cool.
It's stunningly precise. It really is. I like it.
And then these are something I did, I think, yesterday.
Oh, look at that. Very cool. Oh no, this is why I quit art. I can't stand that stuff. It's a great job, but I don't.
We can go back on that one.
Oh, I like the candle.
Oh, thank you. This is the same hippo, just that I shaded differently. I used a different technique.
It's super cute. It's almost like he has on what they call a medium shirt. You know what I mean? He's like, that's great. I like that one.
Yeah, so I'm trying to learn how to shade properly in blend and Wendell.
Yeah. I like when the subjects at least have a vase or something. There's something about fruit that just irritates the heck out of me.
Yeah.
I see we hate fruit.
Well, you know, it's like I love fruit, but it's like those weird fake fruits that they used to sell for like home decoration.
I also have something I think in the Photoshop one. Just
Can't they
I'm
like
not sure why I put it there.
shade something more interesting than
Also,
fruit?
I think the website, yeah, that one. I think I forgot to show it earlier.
So what's the title of your art class that you're in?
I think it's Art 10. Let me see.
Art 10 something?
Art 110. No, Art 10. Art 110.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to take like a basic drawing class eventually or watercolor or something. But
This looks good, Adrian. I like how you worked your characters in here. I like the background color.
really professional, like search and bar and the little. Yeah, that looks. I love the characters.
Yeah, really nice.
The volcano.
All right, good job, Adrian.
Thank you.
Let's see. Let's see what else we have in here. Well, the folders, my my folders here have been getting turned around. They were upside down, so I'm not quite sure. Let's see. Oh, I think we haven't done these people here. So, Claudia, did you have anything?
Not this week, Frank.
Okay. And Mia?
There is a little slideshow. You can just click through it. It's not, you know, it's just something I got from the internet real quickly because I'm just kind of enamored with the photography apps and the digital, I guess it would be brushes or techniques, or so they convert digital art from a more sterile, like I guess you guys call it vector art or whatever, but into painterly type art. So I just grabbed some images real quick because I just thought it's interesting to me how people convert from one to the other, you know, back and forth like that. They convert paintings to digital, digital back to painting. Like I was saying, I have a photography group that is called Fine Art Photography, and there's apps and photo apps that just are called Painterly, and you literally paint over, and it comes out more like a painting instead of a photograph or a whatever digital. So that was, yep, and that last one, because I find that interesting how people are always converting things.
Yeah, it's cool. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing these.
Yep.
Okay, and Robin, anything from you?
Yeah, I've got a few things. It should be dated 7/23. They might be small because I put, oh, sorry.
It's okay.
They should be in Illustrator. If they don't come up, it's okay. They're nothing fancy.
Well, it should have downloaded
Yeah, so this I took a little bookmaking class at the U of A my last semester, but that's when Corona hit. So we didn't actually like get to make actual books. We just like folded paper and drew on it. So a lot of them was like going through like quarantine. And so this was a little book dedicated to like social isolation, but also like self-care through that by like finding time to actually practice self-care.
It's beautiful. I love the little garden sketches.
Thanks. That one took me, I probably did like 10 minutes on that.
Wow.
You know what's sort of interesting is if you can't get out and garden, you can have these images, you know, kind of imagining gardening. That's kind of interesting to me. And that one in the middle looks like my backyard in Vermont.
This is another little book. They're all books. But this type is called The Shrine, and this is my future herb shed because I would love to be an herbalist one day.
Oh, that's cute. And so it opens up to be the bottom picture?
Yeah.
Wow, that's so cute.
It is very cool.
Thanks.
I used to grow a lot of herbs. Like in Vermont, it was a lot easier, but we had like an scented herb garden where you would walk through the paths, and my kids when they were little, we would go through and just pinch like the lavender thyme and the garlic chives and the peppermint and fennel.
See, that's my dream. That'll be me one day.
It's much easier in different climates. You can do it here though, but the bugs and the critters and if the sun doesn't get them, the bugs do. It's pretty tricky.
Yeah.
You have to keep it screened from pests and shaded from sun. You can grow cilantro.
If this one doesn't load, it's okay.
There it goes.
There it goes. Yeah. So again, all of these books were like kind of slapped together because of quarantine. But the top one is called Holding On to Things That Grow. It's this process of like mushrooms. A lot of my pieces represent like this idea of decay. And so it's kind of like moving on from that. And then on the right side, you can't really see it, but it's like dried flowers that I glued on there, and then like hands holding on to that. And then the bottom one is just a little book of nuts.
They're adorable.
Yeah.
Thanks, they're a lot of fun.
I like the little one. So that looks like a lot of fun to me.
Yeah, these are really cool.
Thanks, guys.
This makes me want to see your infographic poster even more.
Ask me a month from now.
Okay. Well, you can email it to me after it's done.
Yeah, and then you can send a mass email to the class.
Oh, thanks.
Okay. Luke, I don't know if he's still here. All right. Is there anybody else who has something that they would like to share? If not, we could look at Serena's little Twitter link here. Is this a video, Serena?
I forgot I was going to put up this 3D. This guy at Target was wearing a 3D Darth Vader mask.
Oh, cool.
It was awesome. It was a protective mask, but it was 3D, and all I could think of was the Luke.
Let me go to this. Yeah.
It's just like a 8-second or 6-second little thing where it just shows
This is
her
the animation
animating.
she did?
Yeah, this is the animation that she did, and I was the one that was able to do the background for her. So I did the background, she did the animation.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I didn't let you show up before. I thought it might be a whole long video or something.
No. No, it was. I wish I was able to find her other animations because she's done like a SpongeBob one. She's done a Kirby one at one point. I think she was supposed to do like a Smurf one actually at one point, like the old timey ones. I guess that one got canceled, but yeah, this is the. She also did another Pokemon one as well, but I couldn't find that one, of course.
Cool.
So yeah,
That's
that's pretty much
cute.
it. Mhm.
It really came out good.
Yeah, and she's planning on doing more. I actually just finished a background for her for 2 other ones, I guess. So she's gonna be very, very busy with the animation stuff. And these, I think, are just things that she liked or whatever.
Right.
And there's that Claude guy again.
It's so cool to see all this stuff from all over the internet, you know?
Mhm.
I like that one actually. Squirtle.
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah, but that was pretty much it. I wanted to show.
Okay.
Mm.
Hey, well, you guys want to see some stickers I worked on?
Heck yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. Some of these, I've worked with a couple of students in the past. We did some art projects together. Some of these are sort of collaborative work, and some of it is stuff that I've done. So I use a company called Sticker Mule. Have you guys heard of that?
I have.
Yeah, so I'll just bring them up real quick. Sticker Mule is just great. You upload your artwork, and like within a couple of hours, somebody will get back to you with a proof. And then if you need changes, they'll make the changes, and then they'll print your stickers and they'll ship them right out, and they look great. So check out Sticker Mule if you get a chance. But so let's see. This first one is. This was a collaboration with a student of mine, and I'm working on this comic book called Wild Chord, which is also a collaboration with a few students. And so I asked this student, I said, hey, do you want to look at these characters in the comic book and do your own version of them? Do kind of a fun version of these characters, almost like fan art or something like that. So it's a comic that has a young girl named Lydia and a boy named Acorn. And then there's a couple of little characters, animal characters, a penguin named Boots and a monkey named Crunky.
I love the penguin.
Yeah, he's cute. And so she did all these, and of course they play musical instruments and everything. So
They're super cute.
yeah, she did all these, and we put them on this orange background and shipped it off to Sticker Mule. This is a little 4x6 sticker sheet. It's like this big. You probably can't tell. There's no frame of reference, but it's about as big as somebody's hand. And they cost about $3. But when you go to Sticker Mule, you have to buy a set of 10 of these.
Is it one rectangle with that orange background, but then you can peel off the individual stickers?
Yeah, they're called Kiss Cut, and what it is it's a sheet of stickers that you peel off.
Cool.
So it costs about $32 for 10 of these, but the cool thing is they always throw in a few extra sticker sheets just to be cool, you know.
Oh.
Okay, this next one is these are some animals that I drew many years ago. They're all endangered animals. I was working on a children's book, and so I thought it'd be fun to make them stickers. So I put them on this background, and these little white blobs you see around them are basically the peel marks, you know, to peel off the stickers.
Those are really cute.
They're so fun.
They're fun to do.
Yeah.
I love the fox and the antelope.
Yeah, they're cute. I like those guys.
It's the alligator too, the one on the top. It's hilarious.
One of my favorites is this jaguar because he's got like the worst attitude in the world. He's like,
Well, he does. You know, and the gorilla just like do, but the guy up at the top is kind of like do.
Yeah.
The alligator guy is just like so.
Okay, so this was actually the same student who worked on the first one you saw, the Wild Chord one. I also have a comic book I'm working on called Steelbeard that has all these different personalities on a pirate ship. And so I said, hey, can you make a headshot of each of these characters and really, help define their personality? Like this guy Stinky down here, I know he's probably hard to see, but he wears
He looks smelly.
he wears garlic around his neck. What did you say?
I said he looks smelly. I didn't even know that was garlic. Just looking at him, he just looks like he'd be smelly.
Yeah, exactly. So she did a good job, and so I thought this was really fun.
Spyglass are funny.
Yeah, one of the mistakes I made was each of these characters is too small, and so the stickers are like tiny. So I would have done better to do fewer stickers and make them bigger. That's something you learn when you do stickers.
I like them though. Sometimes tiny is good. I like small stuff.
This is I did this story about a woman who's a model, and she's being photographed. She's at kind of a rough point in her life, and she's being photographed. She's having a discussion with the photographer while she's being photographed, and the story is the discussion they have. So, and I thought I liked the way that the black and white images came out, so I made a sticker sheet out of them. This is
Very cool.
Thank you. This is a sticker which has the title of a song that I wrote, which is kind of like a sort of a 1960s "All You Need Is Love" kind of song, and so I made a little graphic sticker that goes with it.
You gotta play it for us.
It's the peace sign.
Yeah, there's the peace sign.
There it is, man, and the heart.
Is it on YouTube, Greg?
Is this on YouTube?
Your song.
No, I actually, this guy who helps me mix songs, he's supposed to come over next month, and we're supposed to mix this down. And so, I tell you what, I'll send you this when you send me the info poster.
Deal.
Okay.
Oh, the world is a monster?
Well, it's kind of like, have you ever heard that term "dog eat dog world"?
Yeah.
Good one.
So I just kind of drew like a dog eating himself as the world. I don't know.
That's funny.
That's actually really hilarious.
This is kind of a crazy, I don't know if you would call her quite anime or whatever, but she's like a Asian superhero gal named Black.
I like the play on words, the black white.
Yeah. And I did this with a student of mine who's from Japan. And we made a whole comic book together about this character. It was really fun. And then the last one is this one right here. This is a comic book character called Boomerang Girl. She's like the Silver Surfer, but she rides a boomerang.
Man, my nickname in high school was Boomer.
Oh, cool.
Well, it was Boom Boom from skiing, but it turned into Boomer.
Is that your artwork, Greg?
Yeah.
It looks really good.
Thanks.
I
Yeah,
like her.
so that's pretty much it.
That's really cool. My sister gave me a boomerang. Some guy she knew in New York City was a boomerang maker. Made
Boomerangs are
giant
cool, man.
boomers. Yeah, it was like he was from Australia, and it was this really cool lightweight wooden thing, and it really worked. It was so, I don't know whatever happened to it.
Yeah, those things are awesome.
So she's surfing on the boomerang, which is funny. Is there a meaning behind it, or you just?
Well, once again, it's based on a song. I wrote a song called Boomerang Girl. And if you ever heard that term, have you guys ever heard that term, a boomerang relationship?
Kind of, where you go back and forth?
Yeah, that's what it means. It means you break up and you get back together and you break up, right? So I wrote a song called Boomerang Girl, and then I thought, oh, that would be a good comic book character, but it'll be a girl riding a boomerang. So
So have you made other art with her? Like
yeah,
comic?
yeah. Actually, I have a whole comic written of her, and I've only drawn like the first page. So It's like it's one of those, you know how you have projects that
Just
are
too
sitting,
raw and brutal.
yeah, it's one of those projects that's sitting on the shelf waiting for me to finish it.
Yeah, it's on the back burner.
You
Yeah.
should do it. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I would like to. It's just time, you know?
Hey, who's got some extra time they can donate?
Yeah, no kidding.
I wish.
I'm very stingy with my time.
Work decides to steal whatever I have. Sleep steals the other half.
I don't have much time left on the planet. You people have more time than me. Come on.
Wouldn't it be great if there was some system where older people could suck time out of the younger people and
Preferably not.
I think it'd be cool.
Nah.
Maybe.
Nah.
What if you could donate your time? What if you could go to these collection centers and it's sort of a sci-fi, you could donate your time.
Yeah, but then there'd be people stealing the time. And that wouldn't be too good.
Time bandits.
Exactly. That sounds
You
really
gotta
cool,
incorporate
actually.
this in your comic.
Yeah, there you go.
You good.
It would be
Time
good.
bandits. Awesomeness. Well, thank you for sharing those.
You're welcome. Thanks all of you. It's really a treat to get to see everybody's art.
Yeah, pretty impressive.
Yeah, lots of talented people. Okay, you guys. Well, I think we'll go ahead and shut down the session for today, but I hope you guys have a wonderful night and a great weekend.
Oh yeah.
Aw, you too. I'm
Happy
about to
weekend.
myself with my presentation. I get to redraw my characters before I actually made them look good.
Your,
I'm
pres
not ready for this.
your presentation has to be uber super special to make up for being late.
Hold up, why do you think I'm going to put my own art in it and call myself out for being stupid?
Okay, whatever works for you.
That's the only plan I have. Okay, this was my entire plan. I was intending on doing it during class today, not realizing I read the wrong day.
Oh, funny. Okay.
Right?
Right.
Yeah, hilarious.
I've been trying to figure stuff out. I don't know how good this is gonna be, but it's gonna be done.
Work.
Huh?
It'll be fun to look at your work.
Yeah. No. I don't want to throw in some of my really old art. Oh God, I have the perfect character for this. Sorry, I just remembered one of my old designs. It's just like, I don't want to draw this. I don't want to draw this. And I get to draw this.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay, see you guys. Happy rainy weekend.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye.